What's going on, y'all? This next interview is going to be with my station captain, Mr. Arron Schultz. We're going to do almost a life story. So we're going to start at childhood, go into his active duty career, and then onto his civilian or GS career with the military. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Here I'm interviewing Mr. Arron Schultz. He's my station captain here at the fire department. So we'll start off. We're gonna go kind of through like childhood, up through military career, and then your civilian career, and just kind of how you grew up, stuff like that. So we'll start off. Where were you born? Like what state, and the year you were born?
Okay, we'll start off basic. I was born in 1977 in a town just outside of Chicago on the south side, Kankakee, Illinois.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
In the city, like suburbs?
it's more of a deep suburb.
Okay.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
Was it a good childhood? Like, did you like where you grew up?
I don't want to live there ever again.
Yeah.
I don't have like problems with it, but I do miss Kankakee's food, man.
Oh, really?
Boy, man, that's got everything. Chicago, even in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. So every time I go back up, for a game or whatever,
Yeah.
I always have a couple hot spots that I stop in and get my favorites.
Did it go downhill from when you were a kid till now?
I think it was probably already there. I just didn't realize as a child growing up.
Yeah.
When you leave and you grow old, you never look. You have a chance to look back. You don't realize at the time what it was really like till you're an adult.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for me too. Like looking back on my childhood, I was really blessed growing up, and looking back like where I'm at now to where I grew up, it's an eye opener once you get in the real world.
yeah.
So that's cool. So you're born 1977, south side of Chicago. What'd you like to do as a kid?
Same thing I like doing now.
Cutting up?
Cutting up. Cutting up on Mountain Dew, baby.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot. Have you always had an interest in like being a firefighter? Or actually, we'll get to that later. I still want to go through your childhood. So, just normal kid stuff.
Normal kid stuff, man. Being young, you get out there and you ride a bike, and you get outside when the sun comes up. You don't come home till the sun sets. But you got to think, man. Since I was born in '77, grew up in all of the '80s and all the way up until mid '95 till I graduated. It was a different world back than what it is now.
Yeah.
There's no internet. There's no cell phones. There's no computers. None of that. So that's how you grew up and you started your day was face-to-face conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
There was no let me hop on this and check my status or all that other social media stuff. You were forced to communicate face-to-face with people, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind doing this. It's fun. It's what I know.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. It's fun.
I grew up. Cool. So tell me a little bit about your parents. What were your parents' names?
Parents' name is my mom is Diane. My biological parents got divorced when I was 2, and they both remarried 4, 5, 6 years after that, and they've been with the same couple ever since.
That's good.
So I essentially have 2 moms and 2 dads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that affect you? I mean, I guess you were 2. You don't really remember any of that.
Yeah, I was only 2, so I guess I had the added benefit of having 2 moms and 2 dads too.
Yeah.
Basically 4 different perspectives on how to be a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did it affect you in any negative way growing up or positive way?
No, because it happened at such a young age. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
I didn't have nothing to really compare it to, so yeah.
Makes sense. Do you still carry the same principles that your parents taught you when you were a kid? You still carry those same principles today?
It's a good question. Before I answer, you answer.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah. I mean, my parents, I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm grateful for the way they raised me. Now that I'm grown up, 21 years old, I can really see the world for what it is. And the way I grew up has just, it was awesome growing up like that, having two parents that loved each other. I mean, yeah, that did did a whole lot for me that I didn't realize when I was a kid. Yeah, and I mean them showing love to each other, like me seeing that my entire childhood. I feel like that's going to carry on whenever I get a girlfriend and have a wife. It's going to carry over, and you know the Christian values they taught me, everything like that. It's all carried over.
Sure.
So,
My reply is real simple, man. It was always try to do the right thing.
yeah, golden rule.
Try to do the right thing, man. Like it's not always fucking an easy thing to do
Yeah,
at all, but I think I still, even now, I still kind of live by that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. What type of kid were you? Were you like popular, reserved, outgoing, introverted? Well, how would you label yourself?
All the above.
Really?
All the above, man.
So you kind of knew how to change between the two or the
So
three.
growing up, man, in the town that I grew up, it was I like to say, a buffet of cultures,
Yeah,
personalities. I, I guess I have the ability to kind of just get along and hang out with everybody from all walks of life.
yeah.
That's even more true in the military, man.
Oh yeah,
Military comes from everywhere with all sorts of backgrounds.
yeah,
I kind of dig that. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. It's easy
yeah.
to get along with all sorts of people.
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any brothers or sisters growing up?
Yeah, I'm one of five.
Okay.
My oldest sister's 80, or God,
80.
80. It's fucking Mountain Dew, babe. My oldest sister, Amy, is 2 years older than me. She's 49.
Okay.
Then there's me, 47. Then there's Adam at 37. There's Alyssa at, and I'm probably going to screw this up.
Man.
Alyssa's 33?
If you're watching, make sure he's correct.
I'm
Dog him if
pretty
he's
sure that's
not.
wrong. And then my youngest sister, Abby, she's 28 now, about to be 29 in November.
Okay.
Yeah, 105. I'm the favorite.
Nice.
Obviously, everybody knows that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So did you say what? 3 girls, 2 boys? Is that
Yep.
what? Okay.
Yep.
You had an older sister, 2 years older.
Yep.
How was it growing up with an older sister? Because I just had one brother, so I don't know anything about having a sister. How was that?
We didn't fight, but we bickered like siblings would.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, like any other siblings. But like you grow up, you do your adult thing, and that changes.
yeah,
Like all three of my sisters. Like I have a I have a group text that I've titled Three Sisters. And so like whenever we want to talk about other people or family members or anybody, that's kind of what we use
yeah,
to just pass on information and stuff, and obviously cut up, like you used
yeah.
to say,
Cut up.
joke around and have fun. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Cool. Did you enjoy school going through?
Growing up,
Yeah,
uh, not really, man. Like
yeah,
I was always like a B student, but like enjoying school, like I couldn't wait for the day to be over, man. Like
just to go play.
just to go outside and just do kid stuff. Even in high school, like I couldn't wait for school to get over so I can go to my job.
Yeah,
Yeah, B student, like it just came so. All right, I got this done next. Well, now I got 30 minutes left in the class. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's like,
I was the same way, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah, wanted to go home. My mom actually taught, so it was fun getting out of school because we'd go in her classroom. She would have to stay like an hour after school. So me and my best friend, we would always go in there, just hang out for that whole hour because it was just me and him in there. So I remember that we would go. We could actually. So we had a like a playground right behind her room. We would always go outside and we'd pick the lock, get all the basketballs and stuff out, just
nice.
play all by ourselves.
Yeah.
That was fun. Okay, so let's go into, I guess, high school. Let's transition out of elementary school, go to middle and high school. So, did anything change from? Did you stay in the same school your entire
No,
school
no, no,
year?
no, no. We had separate. Like God, I went to many different schools just in the hometown area because
Yeah.
it wasn't like a small town. Like K through 12 was one building. It wasn't
Okay.
like that at all.
So was that different schools for like an elementary was a different school, middle school was different, high school was a different like location?
That's pretty much, yeah, which was really weird. We had our junior high was 8th and ninth grade. And then the high school was 10, 11, 12
Yeah.
at a completely separate location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any memories, or would you go back? Let's say you could go back and tell your ninth grade self something that you know now. What would you tell yourself?
Don't be afraid. Lean in.
Ooh, I love lean in.
Lean in
I love
head
that saying.
first, man. Like, there's so many things that can make you uncomfortable in life, whether it's job, family, relationships, whatever. Fucking lean in, man. Put your head first. Go fucking and get the information you can, dude. Get that info. Don't just sit back and wait, because you get that info, you do all the work to do all that. So many benefits come out of that, man. The more you know, like that's an NBC quote back in the day before the internet. The more you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, the more you know, man, it helps with everything.
100%.
Yeah.
Did you ever get in fights?
Uh, I've got into one fight in my entire life.
All right, let's hear about it.
And you want the story? All
Give
right,
it
I'll
to
make
us.
this a quick one. I'm in, I think it was grade 6th grade, 7th grade. Yeah, right around there. And me and a couple a couple buddies, we got a baseball. I had it. We had a bat. We had some gloves. Let's go have a little pickup game at the park, right? So we hop on our bikes. We go out there, play around, out there for an hour, just hitting the ball around, catching, all that jazz. And we're getting ready to leave, and one of my buddies took the baseball as we're all going home our separate ways, right on our bikes. I said, "Hey man," I know his name, so I won't say it, but I said, "Hey man, give me the baseball. That's mine. I brought it." And he ignored me as he was walking away. And I'm not a fucking angry person. I know I cuss a lot, but I'm not an angry dude. But in that moment, when he ignored me and walked away with my baseball, I
Game
fucking
on.
lost it, dude. I lost it as a kid. I've never even felt that way ever again since that, ever in my life. I rushed him, man, and
Did you
when
tackle him? Just
I
start punching
did, I
him?
did. We got on the ground. I had him in the headlock. We got him on the ground. He dropped the baseball.
Nice. So you
Yeah,
got your ball back.
I got my ball back
Hell yeah.
and I hopped in my bike and I went home.
Nice.
But I don't remember ever in my life since that moment ever being so pissed off at anybody.
Dang. I
But
didn't.
there is more to the story though, because later on that evening, I'm at home, and this dude and his dad knocked on the door.
Oh Lord.
So he went home and told his dad, "Hey, I got in a fight, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
whatever." And his dad fucking, "Hey, blah blah. Seems like our kids got in a fight, blah blah." And it's funny. My dad asked me, "Did you get the baseball?" I said, "Yeah, I got my baseball." I'll
Nice.
leave it at that. But
Nice. That's funny.
it was pretty funny. They showed up on the goddamn doorstep,
Yeah.
like for what?
Yeah. Have you always had an interest in joining the military?
Yes, actually,
Really?
at a young age, uh, at a real young age. One, I knew that even before, like even in high school, early on in high school, like even ninth grade, man, I always knew I wanted to do firefighting.
Really?
Like that was just growing up. There was a station 2 blocks from my house, so all day, every day, that truck would just be flying in front of the house, flying by. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Lights, sirens. Guys were actually riding on the back of the truck.
Oh
You
Lord.
know what I mean? This is the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s stuff, so that was allowed. But that always interested me,
Yeah.
and I always liked that. I didn't know what the hell they were doing or where they're going, what was going on, but that part right there drew me to this.
Yeah.
What was growing up next to the fire station like that. So as far as the military part of it, I did want to do the military for a long time because I knew I solely wanted to do that fire piece, and I didn't want to go to college.
Yeah.
Like I already said, school just wasn't fun for me,
Yeah.
and college was not in the plans at all.
That's
And
how I was.
yeah, and so back then, and I think it's still even like that now, you couldn't be a fire cop in the hometown until you were 21,
Oh really?
right? So now I'm like, well, I don't want to go to college. I still want to do fire stuff, but I also want to do the military. So that's how it all kind of came about.
Yeah.
Was that?
Best of both worlds.
Yep.
That's cool how that all tied together.
Well, no. So my plan was to go in the Air Force, be a fire guy for 4 years, and then separate and go back home and test for departments back home. Life happened. Ended up re-enlisting. Did total of 8 years, and then I separated from there, and that's when I became a GS employee, civilian firefighter.
So you drew the line at 8 years?
I did.
I feel like most people, they get to like 8 or 10 years and they're like, all right, I need to figure out if I'm going to retire in the military or I'm going to get out and do something else.
Yeah. So for me, man, when it was getting that time, approaching that 8th year, I knew I wanted to be a civilian firefighter somewhere. I knew I wanted to be here at Scott because it was close enough to home, but yet far enough away.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I going with that?
We were talking about military, just like the 8 year to 10 year mark. Like that's where people draw the line. They're like, all right, I got.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I decided to get out, and this was in 2002. From 2002 to 2003 was my final year in the Air Force. Within that final year, the second Desert Storm, kind of, if you will, Gulf War kicked off again. So within that short amount of time, there was a few months where the Air Force enacted stop loss, which if you've never heard about it or don't know what it is, stop loss is a stop on personnel movements during that time. So there's no separations, there's no PCSing, there's no retirements.
Dang.
That's right. Everyone's in place to kind of support what was going on, right?
Yeah.
And with that, I had already put in several resumes for job openings across the Air Force for civilian firefighter jobs. And during that time, stop loss was enacted. I actually had to turn down a couple job offers because I couldn't separate, right?
Yeah.
And then now I'm getting to the point where now my date of separation is getting closer and closer, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, if my date of separation comes, I was extremely motivated as a staff sergeant in the Air Force. I was young, I was driven, motivated, had it all self-aware, right? I wanted it. I wanted to do the right thing. I just wanted all of it. And so at that time, I actually put two packages together. One to be a fire school instructor, because if I was going to have to re-enlist, that's going to put me at 12 years, and then I'm just staying in for the rest of it.
Yeah. And that's tech school, right?
Yeah, that's at the fire school. Yeah, yeah. And if I'm going to re-enlist and make it 12 years, well, now I want to branch out now. If that's going to help your career, obviously. So I had a package in to be a fire school instructor. Another package I had in was, I don't think I told you this, but to be a drill instructor.
Oh, shoot.
Down at basic training. I had them both approved by the commander at that time. All I had to do was click send on the email, because email was just starting to come out at that time. I never did click send on any one of those packages.
Do you regret that?
I don't.
No?
I don't, because, man, a couple days after the Air Force lifted stop loss, I got a job offer from Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. They called me and said, hey, we got this job opening. We're really interested. I said, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I didn't know if I was going to get any other job offers.
Be at Holloman in 5 minutes? Or is that where you were?
No, I was at Little Rock was my last base.
Okay.
And I told them I'd be there in 5 minutes because I didn't know if I was going to get any other job offers, because I already turned down several of them, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I'll be there right now. When do you want me? And so I separated and packed up and moved to Holloman.
Dang.
But yeah, I was that close to being a drill instructor.
Dang, that's cool.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind being a drill instructor. I just think it would be a cool experience. Because growing up as a kid, you watch all the movies and videos and stuff, and it's like,
yeah,
what is a day in the life of a drill instructor?
Yeah.
I want to live that. Just, see what it's like.
So what would you think if you're in your dorm room at basic training and you saw me walk through the door? What would you think? Not a fair question, but you already know me, so.
I mean, if I knew knowing what I know now, I'd start busting out laughing. That's what I would do. But if I didn't know you, I don't know. It'd be probably the same as any other drill instructor. Scary as hell, wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Stand at attention, that's probably all I would know to do. But, oh, man. So you
said, "Oh, man."
joined, do what?
You said, "Oh, man."
Yeah. So you joined the Air, what year did you join again?
1995, same year I graduated high school.
So where were you at when 9/11 happened?
I was actually at work at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska. We were getting off work that morning, and so this was like at 5 in the morning because of the time changes. So this actually happened at, for us, 5 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. We were waking up that morning.
Dang. Shift swap was 5 in the morning?
No, that's when we were waking up that morning, was to that news, because the dispatcher had it on the TV, the news channels.
What did everyone think?
I just glued to the TV, man. Like, holy shit.
What did you think was going to happen?
I didn't know, man. Like, everybody thought that we were going somewhere to do something. Like, right then and there, within a couple days, we're leaving. We're going where to do what?
Yeah.
Right.
No one knows. No one knows shit at the time.
Yeah.
It takes months for people to get good information.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be a firefighter.
Yep.
Let's go back to basic training. Did you do you have any memorable basic training stories that pop out to you? Because I have a couple. I'll share with you. I'll show you a couple.
I would think I was pretty smart in that, where I laid low, man. I flew underneath the radar because I was like, I just want to get through this and be done with it.
Yeah.
So nothing other than your typical story that everyone else would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, though?
All right. So I'll tell the one about my guidon bearer story. So I was guidon bearer for up until week 1, the end of week 1. The original guidon bearer got fired. He did something stupid. So my MTI was like, "Who wants to be guidon bearer?" And I just raised my hand. I was like, "Screw it, why not? I can't die. If I die, that's the worst thing that can happen, and I know I'm not going to die." So I was a guidon bearer. And a couple weeks in, an A-flight guide. It's like the backup person.
Okay. Yep.
So the backup person needed training. So my MTI was like, "Look, you're going to give her," it was a girl, he was like, "You're going to give her the flag all day. She's going to train. You're going to kind of teach her." I was like, "Cool, that's fine." So every time you go to chow, the guidon bearer stays back and teaches and does stuff with the other flights. So I was teaching her stuff, and then I told her, I was like, "Look, this is your flag. I'm going to go eat. Make sure you get it when you're done eating." And so she was like, "Okay." So I went and ate, finished eating, left. I didn't check to see if she got it or not, because she told me she was going to get it. Of course, she didn't get it. So that was lunch. So dinner rolls around. We go down to the pad, and I looked in our little holder, and there was no freaking flag there. And I went and asked her. I was like, "Did you get the flag?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, you're gonna have to come with me and try to find this stinking thing." So we went around the entire squadron looking, and every like flight, I guess every entrance to the dormitory has those little holders for the flags. So we went and checked every single one, couldn't find it. So me and her went up to our MTI, and we were like, "Look, we don't know where the flag is," and he just he just laid into us.
Yeah.
So after he was done grilling us, he said, "Go look in the chow hall." And I was like, "Holy crap!" So I told her to go back and get in the flight because she was kind of stupid. I didn't want to go in there with her because I knew she didn't know the procedures or whatever. Yeah. So I went and I got somebody that knew. I mean, kind of had a head on their shoulders. So I went and got them. We went in the dorm or in the chow hall, and I saw the flag right behind 5 or 6 MTIs, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Thank the Lord I had done chow runner. Where you go up. And yeah. So thank the Lord I knew how to do all the procedures. So I turned around and I was like, "Look, dude, we got to go up there and get that thing." I was like, "Just follow me. I'll guide us through it and get the flag." So I go up there, do all the bull crap, get the flag, get grilled again, and then he told us to leave. When we go to leave, I freaking, when you lift the flag, so you lift the flag up to walk anywhere. and the ceiling was low hanging. So I go to lift the flag and I jam it through the ceiling. So there's a little freaking hole. No one saw it though. I don't know how. It made a damn
They didn't
loud.
even hear it?
No,
Oh, wow.
because I guess after they were done grilling me, they just turned around and expected me to leave. So I damn smashed it in the ceiling. I turned and looked. I was like, shit.
God, I
So
wish
we
I was
got
a
out.
driller. That would have been fun for me if
Oh
I
my
was a drill
goodness,
instructor.
yeah.
Damn.
That's my one like really memorable story.
Nice. Nice.
Look at Mr. Settles. He's like, what the
Nice.
heck? It's our kitchen right here. All right. So let's go in. So we're done basic training. Where was your first base?
Little Rock Air Force Base, Arkansas.
Okay.
Spent 4 years there.
You enjoyed? You like Little Rock?
It was fun. Yeah, fun times.
Where'd you go after that?
Then I went up to Alaska, Eielson Air Force Base in Fairbanks for 3 years. Had a really good time up there.
Was that your favorite?
I don't have a favorite base because they're all unique in their own ways.
Yeah.
I think I was able to take the good, the positive out of each one of them. So to say a favorite, I enjoyed all of my assignments for various reasons. But as far
So
as
we go Little Rock, then we go Alaska.
Yep.
Just give them in order. What were they in order?
Yep. Little Rock Air Force Base, Alaska, Little Rock. What? Okay. Little Rock Air Force Base, Arkansas, 3 or 4 years there. Alaska, 3 years there. And then for my final year, that's when I went back to Little Rock for my last year in the Air Force.
Okay.
Did all that thing with stop loss.
Yeah.
Separated from there and took a job at Holloman. That's where I started my civilian firefighter career. I was at Holloman in New Mexico.
Did you start as a 7?
I started as this was in 2003, so I started as a GS6 driver operator.
Has that changed?
That's what they were back then.
Okay.
Now your driver operators are GS7s.
Okay.
Everyone kind of got bumped up one grade
because
of either having EMT certification or hazmat tech certification. That's what generated the uptick.
Okay.
And then so I spent 3 years at Holloman, basically waiting for positions to open up here at Scott.
So
and
then come back to home.
Yeah, so I can kind of come back here close to home, but far enough away, like I said earlier. 2 GS8 crew chief positions actually opened up at the same time. And I applied for one of them, and I got one of them. So
Cool.
I basically did a crew chief transfer. Crew chief there, crew chief here. And that was in 2006 when I got here and been here ever since. Is that 18 years? Yeah, 18 years. Been here.
Yeah, and obviously you know this place like the back of your hand.
Damn right I do.
Damn right.
If I didn't, something's wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah. Have you been here the longest out of anyone?
Like
who's been here longer? Mr. Long?
Mr. Long. And really, the only person who's been here longer is Mr. Sketch. I think he's been here.
Oh, he's been here longer.
20, 21 years. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a good question.
Okay.
So the Air Force is constantly changing. Do you feel like it has changed for the better since you left active duty or not?
Change for the better. So to answer that question, I've been in for 29 years now, active and civilian. 29 years in the Air Force. I'm not going to say better. I'm not going to say worse. I'm going to say evolved. And this is one of those professions that you have to have that evolution. Because, and think from when I came in 95 till now, that's a complete different generation.
Yeah.
Completely different generation of people, of everything. You have to evolve as time goes on. You just have to.
Yeah. Because
the people are different. The people are way different from they were when I grew up compared to people growing up now.
Yeah.
29 years later. You're going to have that change, so you have to be able to see that change, identify it, and go with it, and evolve with it. So better? No. Worse? No. Evolved.
Do you think there's anything the military lacks? Like when I ask this question, when I answer it to myself, what the military lacks is like every time a new chief or a new commander or something comes, everything gets changed, and it's like every couple years, every couple whatever, however long it takes for new
Mm-hmm.
leadership to come in, everything just changes, and I've been able to see that from being in less than 2 years. Do you see that as one of the negatives of the military? Something that the
Yeah,
military lacks?
that's a fair question. Some people would see that as a negative, and it's kind of easy to go that route because it's simple, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But look at the benefits are to that. So you could be at a base, or so we're at a base where you have a fire chief that's military. So every, let's say, 2 years, we get a new fire chief, right? Same with commanders all over the Air Force. You get what you get a squadron commander for what, 2 to 3 years,
Yeah.
right? So think of the benefits though. Focus on that, because the benefits of, think about what you get from all the leadership styles.
Yeah.
As you grow, you'll get benefits from this fire chief, and then the next fire chief. You'll get benefits from some older fellows like me, and if you go to a different base or you deploy, you'll get those types of benefits from those leaders and those people.
I like that.
Man, you snatch the positive from each one of those guys, and now you got a big old bank full of leadership styles and examples.
I
Right?
never thought about that, because all you hear is, I mean, that's an easy negative, like you said. That's an easy
Simple.
thing to jab at.
Yeah. But don't, man, take those
Yeah.
positives from everybody, dude.
I'm gonna start viewing it like that.
Yep.
I like that. It's a good answer. What's something being a firefighter has really taught you that you don't think you would have learned unless you were a firefighter?
The value of life.
Good answer.
There's truth to that. There's experience behind why I said that.
Yeah.
The value of life you don't understand, or you may not understand, unless you've experienced some shit.
Yeah.
Here's let me put it this way: like, you can go your whole life seeing fastballs come right down the middle of the plate, right? Just fastballs come right down the middle of the plate, and you're able to hit them all the time. You just hit these fastballs all the time because that's what you know you're good at, right? And then comes that one day, you get that curveball pitch that comes in, and you ain't never seen it before in your life, and you swing and you miss, and now you're doing spin around the batter's box because you've never seen that before. You've never experienced that.
Yeah.
And so when I say the value of life, till you've seen that curveball or had some sort of experience and firsthand dealings with that curveball, it's hard to really say that the value of life is important.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my career along the ways over the years, I've seen some people at their worst days, families at their worst days. And they expect us to be there to save the world, to help them. That's why when the fire chief earlier was talking about excellence, right? That's why that excellent part is there. Because when someone calls and they need help, that expectation is that we provide excellence when we go out there to help them. Excellence is the minimum, right? That's our job. We're expected that. That's just the profession that we're in.
Yeah.
I like to always say that the fire service is delivers a product, and everyone out there outside of these walls is our customer, right? So when that customer calls us for help, we deliver a product. If that product is less than excellent, we're failing, because now we're not helping them on their worst days.
Yeah. It's a really good answer. Yeah. I like that about seeing shit. You don't really, it's like gratitude. You don't really understand life until you've seen people at their worst.
Yep.
Yeah. What is the hardest thing you've had to overcome while being on active duty? Was it deployments or being away from home or anything like that?
Sure, I went on 2 different deployments in the 8 years that I was in. Obviously, that sucks, being away from your family for that period of time.
Yeah.
And my first deployment was back in '98. So, right,
well,
you know where I'm going with
coming.
this. In '98, man, again, there were no cell phones. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have none of that nonsense.
Yeah.
It just didn't exist. So communication with back home with your family was rare. So you'd have these big ass green military phones, right? And you'd be able to make one phone call a week for about 15 minutes. And then that's how you would actually talk to family back home was just that 1 week. So yeah, the deployment part sucked for that reason. A lot of benefits out of the deployment though, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely for sure. Something real hard to overcome? You know what? Probably when I was in the fire school. So I didn't know this at the time, growing up, but we were doing vertical ventilation training, right, where you cut a hole in the roof, and it was our day to go. And I went up there and I climbed up to that bad boy, and that's when I realized I was afraid of heights. Didn't know it. Had no idea. So 18-year-old me in the fire school was like, holy shit, I'm afraid of fucking heights. And it stopped me right on the roof. Like I couldn't fucking move, man. Couldn't move.
What'd your instructor say?
Get off my roof.
Did you get another? I mean, you obviously got another chance.
So I got down and I was like, man, I can't do this. This is bullshit. I don't want to do this stuff. So
It's bullshit.
it was. And fire was all I wanted to do too, right?
That's funny.
Like, this is bullshit. I'm not going back up on that goddamn roof. And sorry.
Yeah.
I actually, so the Air Force actually provided guidance and provided help for me when it came to that fear of heights. And so that actually, during that process of getting that help to overcome that fear, the Air Force provided me that help and that guidance. So I had a little bit of setback in the fire school, but I overcame it. And I was able, I finally got back on that bad boy, and I was like, I got this, man.
Yeah.
But we did a couple months of fear training, I guess, for heights.
Did you have to go up the big tower and do that?
We did a lot of things. We're like, we would go up, we would just kind of look around, just a lot of things like that to kind of help overcome that fear and kind of walk through the steps and breathing in your head and this is okay, yada yada yada. So I finally went through that, got back up on that trainer, man, cut a hole in the fucking roof, came back down, and
passed.
I was like,
on to the next.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
On to suppression.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
So yeah, that was for me. That was I rarely tell that story, rarely. So
there's a lot of people that are openly scared of heights, like going through.
And you know
people don't know it.
You don't know it till you're there, right?
Yeah.
And so that happened when I was 18 years old, so 29 years ago. And even still today, if I'm out and about and I see our ladder truck, the ladder being raised, I make it a point to get up there and climb that damn ladder.
Hell yeah. Love it.
I do. I make it a point to get up there. Whatever I'm doing, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go climb this dang ladder.
Love that.
I still do it.
Yeah, that shit is scary. Like, that's high up there.
That's hella different than cutting a hole on a 2-story house. You know what I mean? Hella different.
Yeah.
But still make myself do it.
That's good.
Yep.
I remember the first time I ever did it, I was like, holy shit. This thing, I'm like up here swaying in the wind. I'm like,
yeah, you have no control. Yep.
I'm being held up by some aluminum.
Yep.
Shit's crazy. All right, let's go to, we've talked about your civilian career a little bit, but I want to really go into GS because when I joined, I didn't know GS was a thing. I didn't know there was civilians in the military, or not in the military, but you know what I mean. So what does GS stand for? Like, what is the GS world?
All the GS really is, it stands for general schedule. All it really is the type of pay that civilians use. So there's many, many jobs around the Air Force that, not just fire, that fall under the GS category. And it's basically a pay band, a pay structure. So kind of like how you guys would have E1 through E9, O1 through O10, and then you have your years, right? 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 8. It's the same dang thing.
Yeah.
Just for civilians. Same thing. Yep.
Do you have to be prior military to be GS?
No.
You don't?
Not at all.
I didn't know that.
Nope.
Is it not looked down upon, but is it easier to get a GS job if you have had military service?
So let's talk the fire part specifically. When it comes to the fire part, yes, it's not easier, but having that experience and those certifications are provided in the Air Force.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like when you go to USA Jobs and you see that vacancy announcement, it lists, hey, here's the things that you got to have. Got to have these certs. Got to meet these qualifications. Well, if you were prior Air Force and you went to the Air Force Fire School, you're going to get all that, right? Just
Yeah.
by simply being in and being
It's
in the military.
easier.
It's just easier because it's afforded right there as part of your job. But no, like I know several people on base that are civilians that are not fire, and the jobs are every profession is different. So we have a lot more certifications and qualifications that we have to meet as fire, but maybe not so much in other professions out there.
Yeah.
Where you really don't have to have that prior military experience at all. So yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I thought everybody had to be prior military.
Nope.
Because I mean, it's more common to have GS people that are military.
It's more common in the fire service because I just said, but yeah.
Interesting. So I guess I have written down how did you hear about GS firefighting, but I would assume you heard about it just being an airman, going through the ranks, having civilian counterparts.
Yeah, that's right. Because every base that I worked at had a mixture of military and civilian firefighters. So
Yeah.
you learn day one.
Same with me. That's exactly how I learned too.
Yeah.
So I have written down, why did you choose to stop being active duty and become a GS employee? You kind of answered that already.
I did a couple deployments, like I said. I enjoyed them. But I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
I'm a homebody. Like I simply enjoy being home. Um, that was probably the biggest decision was not having to deploy all the time and PCS all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm a homebody. I wanted roots. I want to sit down wherever I end up, which was here at Scott.
Drink that coffee in the morning.
Drinking that coffee at 5 a.m.
Sunrise.
That's right.
Yep.
Like home, roots. That was it. Living the dream, baby.
Do you regret being GS?
No.
Didn't think so.
Nope. Not one bit.
Yep. I knew that was coming. Would you recommend GS for active duty firefighters like me or like other people that are going through their career?
I wouldn't say that I would recommend it. I would say that I would give you what the military offers, and I would give you what the civilian GS firefighter offers. That's your decision, man.
So what does the GS offer what are the pros to GS versus civilian? Or GS versus military?
In the fire service?
Yeah.
Oh man, gosh.
A whole lot.
Depends on where you come at it from. If you come at it from the benefit standpoint, we have a lot of the same benefits that you do as a civilian. A lot of jobs outside the gate don't have the benefits that we're offered, right? From a company or from a job, from a business perspective, they just can't and don't offer what the government offers us as far as benefits. That's big for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Big for a lot of people.
I've been thinking about it. I mean, it goes through my head. I really don't think I will do GS. I think I'll stay and do active duty. I would love to make a career out of it. Do 20. I've always said that before I joined until now. But
I could see you doing 20.
Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah.
No doubt. See, that to me, that's easy. Like I see, I don't know if you see it through my eyes, but through my eyes, I see you being that 20, 22, 24 senior enlisted officer, non-commissioned officer.
Yeah.
I see that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I know there's more out there too, because I'm always, like I said, with being an MTI, I'm always wanting something or wanting to experience things that I've never done before.
Man, if I'm in basic training, you come in that dang room and you with that Georgia accent.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'd lose it right there in front of you. I wouldn't pass basic training.
Shit.
Right there, that, right? Said shit.
Yep. I got yelled at for smiling a lot too. My MTI would always say, "Put your teeth away. Put your damn teeth away," because I would laugh and smile at everything.
Yeah.
Anyway. But there's so much, like being a pilot, being special warfare, being fill in the blank. There's so much out there that I would love to freaking do. I mean, firefighting's awesome. This is a really good job in the Air Force. I've loved every second of it, but there's just so many options. Like I want to experience more. I want to see more, do more. So that's kind of where I'm at.
When you're young, man, you
I
you
know.
have that. What you have right now, a lot of people don't have. Is you have time on your side.
Yeah.
Now, let me pause and back that up for a moment because that curveball, like I said earlier, that curveball of life will come. It's going to come. But you have that time on your side, like you have an entire career ahead of you. That you're young enough to get out there and venture out and explore this, explore that, this profession or that, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You got out of it. It's on your side, man. It's yours for the taking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Me, not so much. Not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I've told my parents this. I've said everything I've done in my life has literally led up to every day, right? Like everything I've done has led up, and I know it's leading up for something greater. So, like being a firefighter, let's say I go and do special warfare or whatever. Everything I've learned here is going to carry on. I'm going to have that in my toolbox, and I'm going to the ropes and knots, the medical training, all
Yeah.
that stuff. It's going to carry on for something else.
Interviews
And
with people like me.
yeah, yeah, learning so much. Love it, love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty much that. Kind of goes over everything I wanted to go over. Is there any questions or anything you want to say, or any questions that I didn't ask you that you would want to put out there?
Yeah. Here's a good one. You're 20.
21.
You're 21. Yeah. You finally hit 21, right? So, where do you see yourself when you're 25? Where do you see yourself when you're 35?
I'm gonna have to think about it. Mm. I have no idea.
Tough. That's fine.
Yeah,
That is an okay answer, man.
waiting and seeing. I'm just gonna try to attack life and have fun doing it. I mean
Well, you're gonna have
that's
fun
all.
doing it, man.
Yeah.
I remember two distinct times where we're playing softball, and I'm getting ready to let that ball go, and I hear you say something in that accent, man, and it's loud. And that one time, dude, I started laughing as I'm getting ready to pitch the
You don't remember
ball.
what it was?
I can't remember what you said because I remember just laughing and focusing on the accent.
Probably something about D's.
Oh, it probably was. And I
Yeah.
threw that ball like 5 feet behind the batter, man. I'm like, Russ, you can't.
That's funny. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, shoot, that's all I got.
Okay.
Appreciate you doing this with
Yeah.
me. But
Not a problem, man.
cool. Good one.
Yeah,
All
thanks,
right, that's
brother.
it. Heck yeah.
Found it.